Welcome back to my channel. If you missed my last video, I was putting together my new mining rig frame. This video I'm going to be putting together the components that go into the frame. So let's get started. The first component I'm adding is my motherboard. This is the B250 Mining Expert motherboard. Okay, in the last video when I was building my frame, you guys may have noticed that I used an ATX sized motherboard to space my risers. So I've already got my risers spaced. While you're building the frame, I recommend that you do that. Or you can always do it when you're ready to assemble everything. Before you screw your motherboard down, make sure that the cooler that you're using does not require a backing plate. The cooler that I'm using will just snap into the little holes. This is the CPU I'll be using. It's an Intel i5-6500T. It's 2.5 gigahertz. Should be plenty to run the mining rig. We don't need anything outlandish because the CPU isn't going to be doing anything other than just the rudimentary features or functions. When installing your cooler, if it already comes with the thermal grease already pre-installed, you don't need more thermal grease. You either use this or thermal grease. This is a single stick of DDR4 RAM. I believe it's 2400, which will be fine. 8 gigabytes. You don't really need 8 gigabytes, but it's what I had. I didn't order anything. This was just laying around in my stockpile, so I'm going to use this. This is the power switch. Since you don't have an actual case, you need a power switch to turn on the motherboard. Or you could just jump the power wire, the power pins on the motherboard, but that's kind of a pain. It's always nice to have a switch. I'm using a server power supply. These things are super cheap, super reliable. They're designed for long-run, high-heat applications. You can hook them up with either 110 volt or 220 volt. I have 110, so the maximum output is going to be 900 watts, and I want to be within 80% of that. So at a 220 volt, you're looking at 1200 watts max. So this will power 5 of the GPU cards, and I have another power supply. It's an 850 regular power supply that will power the motherboard and 3 of the GPUs. Okay, here's my mining rig completely assembled. I had to reconfigure it from my original design, and I'll go over that in a few minutes. Okay, so I ended up using 10 GPUs altogether. I've got 6 GPUs up on the top, and I've got 4 GPUs down on the bottom. As you can see, I had to change my motherboard to the middle of the rack opposed to the bottom of the rack. That's because the riser USB cables cannot be extended beyond what comes with the risers. Yes, it's a little ugly. However, it's functional. Okay, with these server PSU boards, you have to push the button and turn those on manually. So I've got 10 all showing green and working. Okay, we'll go into the device manager. Make sure all the adapters are visible. There's no errors showing on them. All 10 are there. Okay, one of the other things that you have to do is increase, when you're running this many GPUs, you've got to increase the virtual paging memory. So in order to do that, you go to your control panel, you go to System, Control Panel, System and Security, System, Advanced Settings, and then under the Advanced tab, you click on the first under Performance, under Settings, then go to the Advanced tab again. Then right here under Virtual Memory, you'll see Total Page File for all drives. You click that change. It's usually set on whatever your memory size is. I've got 8 gigabytes of memory. I did an initial custom size of 42 megabytes and a maximum size of 60 megabytes. So that way, if the CPU needs to process more memory from what's installed, it can use virtual memory from the actual hard drive. Okay, this is the Adrenaline console. You have a home screen, you have a gaming screen, a streaming screen, and a performance screen. You go to Performance, go to Tuning, and all of your GPUs should show up here. So you see I've got 1 through 10 GPUs. Okay, so once you have all of your settings done on all the GPUs, then you go and you start mining. Let's see what it puts out. And it's going to go through an auto-tune process, build the DAG files. Right now my total GPU power is 1061 watts. 487 mega hashes. This is before auto-tune is finished. It'll take roughly 3 to 5 minutes for everything to be auto-tuned. And then you'll usually see a increase in hashing speed. Alright, so all of my GPUs have finished auto-tuning. They're running at the program's optimal settings right now. It took roughly about 5 minutes to do that. Right now I'm at about 19 shares found, and you can see my total power consumption is 1133 watts, and my total hashes are 524.6 mega hashes per second. It gives you a breakdown between 1 and 10 GPUs of what all they're doing individually. You can see the individual watts that are being consumed individually. But this is what I've got. This is my first time in the mining industry for cryptocurrency. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give that like, subscribe button, just a little click. We don't have to smash anything around here, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.